What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacob Restituto. I'm a musician from Northport, New York. And today, as the video title says, we're talking about my perspective on when people say, and I get this a lot, when people talk about the struggling musician, the starving artist, you know, how there's no music, there's no money in the music industry. And I want to talk about my perspective, being a professional musician and being one for probably about 6 years now, almost 7 years, I think, and what my perspective is. So this is a series called Chatting with Jacob, where I go through questions that you guys have or just ideas that I want to talk about and share with you guys and share my perspective. If you want to text me your ideas, it's 1-833-575-0948. You can text me if you're in the US on WhatsApp or regular text message. If you're outside of the US, you can just text me on WhatsApp. So let's chat about that. So I get all the time, oh, the struggling artist. Some random person, they said, what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm a musician. They said, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what is wrong with people? Like, first of all, who says that to somebody? Second of all, like, I want to combat that idea. It's actually, I don't know where it came from. And maybe it actually came from the olden times, like the 1500s, 1300s, where like the artists actually made no money. And yes, I'm not combating the idea that it is hard to make money as an artist. It is true. But I think that if you're creative and you have the tools to do it, like the mental tools, and you get the right help and get to talk to the right people, I think it's actually, you can make a career out of it. You might not have, you know, if we fly in private jets, but I think you can make a living out of it. If you don't, you know, there's the two opposite sides of the spectrum, you know, like it's the same thing with being an accountant. You can be an accountant and make $40,000 a year, or you can be an accountant and make $400 million a year. So like nobody talks about that, like the comparison, you know. That being said, I think that very much, you know, I'm from New York, so like my numbers are a little bit different than your numbers potentially, because, you know, to live in Florida or, you know, in the US or different parts of the US or Atlanta, like, you know, all these different places that have housing is way cheaper than in New York, like New York and Long Island, you know. So that actually plays a big role into it, but it also affects how much you get paid for things. But that being said, okay, regardless, let's move on. So when I say that, when people say that, like how it's so hard to make money in music, I bring up this analogy where we talk about Lil Nas X's song, you know, Old Town Road. It blew up. It broke all records in the music industry. It was insane. So that's an extreme example. Now, if we just talk about that money that he made from that song, on Spotify, I did the math a couple months ago, maybe a year ago. At that time, he was averaging about 4 million streams a day on Spotify alone. Okay, just that one song, 4 million streams a day. The way the current algorithm works, you make anywhere between 0.003 to 0.004 cents per stream. So that's actually a good video idea. Maybe I'll make that into a separate video and talk about how much money music makes. That being said, for 4 million streams a day, he was making somewhere around $12,000 a day on that one song. Now, on that one platform. Now you calculate in people that now you calculate in Apple Music, because that was just Spotify. You calculate Pandora, radio airplay. You calculate the different types of royalties, mechanical, you know, live performance royalties, all these different types. You calculate Tidal and Deezer and all Amazon Music and Google Play. That guy was getting tons of streams a day, $12,000 a day just on that one song on Spotify. You know, a day. There's 365 days a year. You know, that's some serious money. That's obviously the top number one person out of the billions of people. But I want to say, what if you try to get 3 million streams a month? A month! You're getting 4 million a day, you try to get 3 million a month. 3 million a month is $10,000 a month. You do that, that's $120,000 a year. Now that's some pretty serious money, you know, that's more than the average salary here. You know, $120,000. What if you try to do 1.5 million streams a month? Now, that's the hard part, is like getting past that little brink. That's a lot of streams, but it's nowhere near what these massive artists, they're streaming millions of times a day. You know, so as a small artist, well, and on one song, single songs, you know, they're probably streaming dozens of millions of times a day on multiple songs. Now, as a small artist, if you can get a group of your songs to do like a couple million streams a month, even a million streams a month, that's $3,000 a month, that's $36,000 a year. You're starting to make some money, you know. yeah, I just had to check my math really quick. So that's $36,000 a year. That's a lower salary, but hey, just on a million streams a month on that one platform. Now, if you get a million streams on 3 different platforms, that's $9,000 a month. And I get the hard part of breaking that little barrier between like 3 streams a month and a million. And like when you say that a million is hard, no doubt. But I want to give perspective when like if you look at Spotify and search artists and stuff and like ask for like look around at like these no-name, quote unquote no-name, smaller artists that nobody really knows about, a lot of people have 1 million monthly listeners. A lot of people have streaming because they get put on a playlist, have 2 million streams a month. A lot of people that you've never even heard of, which is crazy because those people are making some serious money, more money than you're probably making now, and you've never heard their name. So that means that there's a lot of people that are getting that level of notoriety. There's not as many people getting like decent order, like 10 million, 20 million streams. That's a lot. That's a lot, and that's a month. And there's not as many people getting that. But the people that are getting like a million, a couple 100,000, 2, 5, 10 million, like under that, like there's a lot of people that you've never heard of. And I want to really encourage you. They're making more money than you'd expect. And that's my answer to when people say, and when they say that, when I say that to them, they're like, oh wow, I had no clue. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's pretty wild actually. Trying to get but the caveat with that is that you have to break that barrier. It's a T-saw, like teetering T-saw. Like some people like you have like 10 streams a month, and trying to get to 1 million is very hard. I get that. But if you can, there's a lot of people that have done it. So that's the encouraging part. If they can do it, you can do it too. So that's my word for the day. Hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great Restituto day. I'll peace out. See you later.
I couldn't do this life without you. I don't know how some people try to. No one's an island, I know that's true. I couldn't do this life without